Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me today, I have Jacinta Powell and Chente Okoli. Chente, how now? Chente, are you muted
Great.
again? Chente, I
Sorry.
don't. Are you okay?
Um, so today was one of those days where I didn't want to do anything. I felt like, like last week was really exhausting. Like throughout last week, I felt like I had given so much. I felt like really drained. And today I didn't just want to do anything. I just wanted to like stay home. I had to like cancel a lot of my sessions and I just wanted to breathe, right? And I just stayed incognito. I put
But
my
when
phone
she
on
called
silent. I didn't want to
me,
hear
you know that you
anything.
always call me when you're feeling down like that. When did she
He's not feeling
call?
down. He's not feeling down. He just wants to have. He just wants to breathe.
Breathe by himself. Yeah, but sometimes he would a
Chente, were
bit.
you feeling
Yeah,
down?
but yeah,
He was feeling down.
yes, in another way, like so there was also the feeling of, I don't feel like I'm enough. There was
Chente, go
also
and
that
get.
feeling. And then
Go and get it.
Jess is actually
Go
right.
and
Every time
get. Go and
I
get.
feel
Yeah.
Go
that
and
way,
get a
I
lover.
it's not that now. Calm down. It's not that.
Chete, you
It's
don't
not
understand.
that.
No, I
But
know it's not
I
that, but
mean,
you see when you're like that and just release, you go feel good.
it's not that.
Oh
But
my
so like
God.
one of the things that actually got me excited was actually this, and I was like, if I can show up for this today, then I think I'm good to go. And so I'm
Yeah.
really excited to.
Oh, happy you're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Yay.
Chete. Chete, you see, you're not listening. And they give you better cancer, they understand. I'm talking from a place of, deep love. And they tell you what go solve all this problem. You never agree. Okay, okay. Jess, how are you?
I'm okay.
If I call you what I want to call you now, you say I've started. How was your weekend?
It was okay, to be honest. I did a bit of running around, errands, Yeah, it was
Well, there's
good.
this glow I see that's different.
What does it look like?
Very
It's
true.
glowing.
Is it?
It's glowing.
maybe
Last
I,
week you were looking a bit stressed, but this week,
maybe I had some, innit?
yes, I swear I know you. I swear I know you, guy. Chete, did you notice that? There's this glow about her today. She's coming
Uh-uh.
from a different place
Very
of,
true.
she's
Very
relaxed.
true.
She's
Well rested,
She has unburdened.
she has
Yes.
onboarded. That's the word. So
Uh,
it's a different vibe. It's a different. You're giving differently this period.
yes,
Even your
yes.
skin is popping.
Oh, thanks, baby.
I see. I said, you know what? I did name I wanted to call you. Let's leave it for another day. Okay, so Chente,
Yeah.
the topic of today. So the role of commitment and expectations in forgiveness.
Hmm. So when I read it, I was like, I don't really know the direction that we're gonna be tilting towards.
Okay, so there's no specific direction. The role, everybody
Okay.
needs to forgive. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the
Mm-hmm.
role of commitment and
Mm-hmm.
expectations. Children have expectations from their parents. Husbands have
Yeah.
expectations from their wife. Friends have expectations from their friends. So what is the role of commitment and expectations in forgiveness?
Hmm.
Take it from any
Can
angle.
just start. Can just start and then we'll come back to me, please. I'm trying to gather my thoughts.
Okay, that's fine. Jess, you want to try?
Okay. Just with a few that I have gathered, so it's more like the measure in which we forgive. To what extent, you know, do we forgive people? So let me try to understand this now. So it's more like, okay, before forgiveness, even before anything, before forgiveness even comes into play, I have to feel, there has to be a feeling, whatever feeling I have for you or you have towards me. It could be expectation. So maybe, and then of course, commitment has to be involved because you would not care about someone on the streets, right? So it's more like I'm putting so much in this. Okay, let me take it from the point of relationship. I wanted to take it from the point of the parents, but I think this would be better. So I'm putting a lot in our relationship, right? which I feel it's commitment. And then then there's a level of expectation that I would require, right? And if it's really high, yeah, and maybe something happens along the way, I think forgiveness would be, I think it would be very painful for me, because I expect so much from you, because because of where we are, and how much I have put into it. I can't just forgive you like that. It will have to take a toll on me, to forgive you. But then, if it's a relationship where I didn't put too much in it, there's not a lot of commitment in it, there were no, and then of course less expectation, less commitment, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I would I would I wouldn't have to even think about the forgiveness, the whole drama that comes with the pain and all of that. I don't think that would even be something that I should worry about. I think that's what I'm thinking that this is.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Chente, you want to say something before I say what I want to say?
Okay. So I'm gonna say this right. I think forgiveness is earned. I think it is right. It is
I
earned.
agree with you.
Now, I know that, I mean, in relationships, right, there are a lot of things that, you have to do. You have to forgive your partner. But I cannot forgive somebody that is not as ready to work on themselves as I am to forgive.
Okay.
I cannot, right? If you keep hurting me and I see that you are intentional about hurting me, I don't think that I would forgive you. It's end, right? And so I must see that there is a commitment to say that, okay, I might be doing this thing, but I really want to stop, right? Or I might be doing this thing to hurt you, right? But I'm looking for ways to help me navigate what I'm doing, right? My intention is not to hurt you, but I don't know why I just keep doing this, right? It's when I see those type of things, when I see that you are committed to making yourself better, right? That is when I can say, okay, for as long as I see that commitment, right, I can keep ushering you that type of forgiveness, right? But I think forgiveness is earned. It's not just something that you give out, because people can misuse that. A lot of people can misuse. They know that their partner is going to forgive, so they are still going to be doing things and things and things and things. Forgiveness is earned. I must see that there's a commitment to you wanting to change or being intentional about your action and your words before I say, okay, I can extend as much grace and forgiveness as I should.
Okay. Okay, so someone sent me a message today, and the message, and he read, why do men not forgive their wives when they cheat, but forgive their girlfriends? Why women forgive their husbands and not their boyfriends? Chente.
To be honest, all of these relationships that they are having boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't understand, though. I don't understand. But again, I just think that, so for the men, I just think that there's an expectation they have from their wife in one way or the other. And for the women, there's also an expectation that they have from their husband. But to be honest, this is complicated. I don't even understand. Like, what are two of you doing inside that marriage that both
Okay, so
of you have partners outside?
let's not go into what they are doing. But you see, you mentioned something.
It's
No, but
stressful.
no, but you mentioned something. You said the man has expectations from the wife. That's why it's difficult for him to forgive. Right?
Yes.
But the woman is forgiving her husband. Is it that she doesn't have expectations from her husband?
To be
The
honest.
woman is forgiving the woman would forgive her husband, but not her boyfriend. But the man will not forgive the wife, but will forgive his girlfriend.
First of all, like, who made these statistics? I don't see.
It's a very good question. No, what? It's a very good question.
Yes.
Very good question.
Yes.
So I've heard this thing about men cheating without emotions. Right? They say men sleep because they're promiscuous by nature, they're polygamy by nature. So when they love their wives, but they sleep with women just because they need to satisfy their urge. Right? So
But when a woman
but wait, so is that
cheats,
why it's easy for them to forgive the girls? Because They are not emotionally attached to it.
Yeah, like part-time.
So there's no emotions attached to it. So
Yeah.
it's okay if you do whatever you want to do.
I
It
don't
really doesn't
expect
bother me.
much from you.
My expectations are not high.
For you,
Yes.
it's different, yeah.
My commitment to you is not high.
As well.
Right? Is it possible that that's why it's easy for the men to forgive the girls?
I think
To
so.
be honest,
I think
I don't
so.
know.
I
To
think
be
so.
honest.
No, to some degree.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Good.
to some degree.
And then also, there's a saying that for a woman to cheat, she has made up her mind. Is with all her emotions.
Yes.
Do you understand? So she's feeling hot from her husband, and she's going to put everything that she has in her boyfriend. And she doesn't expect the boyfriend to repeat what the husband has done. Is it possible?
Oh, no, that's not a great analogy at all.
Women, so are you saying women have the same attitude with men when they cheat?
Some do.
Some do. Numbers, statistics.
Majority don't, because we're emotional beings.
So what is the majority? What majority of the women, what do? They cheat with their emotions.
Yes, they do.
So that means there are a lot of emotions involved. Good. So is it possible that because of the emotions involved, that's why they would forgive their husband because they no longer care about what the man does, which is why they are cheating? Because for a woman to cheat, something is wrong in the house, right?
That's not true.
The 80%, we're not saying, so when you say that they're emotionally involved,
Percentage.
they have left, they're out of that place already. So they are now investing that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So are you saying that, if the man cheats, initially it would pain them? You understand? It's hard to, but the minute they start to forgive, that means they've moved on.
Okay, now let's look at it this way. I like that angle. But before she started cheating, she was forgiving her husband too. Why was that?
No, so before she started cheating.
She was forgiving him too.
So before she started cheating, do you understand? It was hurting.
Oh, I see. But they will let go at some point.
Yeah, because...
But now it's not hurting anymore because she's also cheating. Wow. So I think what it is it's all boils down to emotions.
Expectations
and commitments.
Which is why I was saying, so what role does that play in forgiveness?
It plays that it's a big role in forgiveness. A very big role, because just like I earlier said, when you don't expect so much from someone, if they hurt you, you don't care. It doesn't hurt you as much as someone that you really, really love.
True.
That you're emotionally invested in them. And of course, that you've put so much. It could be physically, it could be financially, whatever it is, you've been committed. Do you get what I mean? So it will hurt more, of course.
So should the boyfriends be happy that the women are not forgiving them? Because they're more emotionally attached. Change, go and get a girlfriend or get a married woman girlfriend. So that's
Franca. But you see, then there's
God,
but guess
please.
what now? So you see, it's like a circle. It keeps going round and round. Now she's emotionally invested in some other guy outside,
and the guy's doing the same thing.
And the guy's still going to do the same thing that the husband did.
Yes.
Do you understand? And now you even have to grieve alone because you can't even tell anybody what you have done. If he breaks your heart, you have to go through that pain by yourself. You can't even tell a friend of yours or anybody.
But why do men not forgive their wives?
Men, ego as well. Men want to own you. Aside from emotions as well,
don't they want to own their girlfriends?
Not as much as their wives. Like we just said, they don't pour so much into their girlfriends like the way they'll pour into their wives and their home. And this ideology of what we stand for. Maybe they are décollés, this is who we are. You know what I mean? That whole thing. My children goes to this kind of school. My wife goes to this kind of places. They put you on such pedestal and they expect so much from you and the family, as a whole. So, of course, he, aside from the commitment and just the emotions, he has ego, which I think his ego stands head over any other thing.
Okay.
And for the fact that somebody else, do you understand, can be sleeping with his wife, the woman that he has chosen out of the thousands, the millions around, and then he hears such a thing. So it's going to hurt him, aside from even the commitments and whatever it is, it's going to hurt his ego, who he is.
So women don't have ego?
No, you can't compare women, their egos to that of a man. Come on. Men, their
I
ego is up
agree.
their ear. It's high up because sometimes it drowns them sometimes. That's why they make a lot of bad judgments. You know, men are not emotional creatures. They're more logical. So, you see, when it comes to emotion, not really for the men, even if it's the wife. Because he married that woman not solely because he loves her. Most men don't marry. I believe so. They don't marry solely, I've said this before, out of love. It's women that do that. And that's why it's in the Bible. And it says, women, what? What happened? What did the Bible say?
I've stopped reading the Bible.
So you see, that's why we make a lot of mistakes, because we
joking, yeah.
love the men. Men are supposed to love us. We're supposed to respect them. And not that kind of respect under your feet kind of
Submissive.
thing. No, not submissiveness, not that type, but respect. Because that's the balance. Because men would hardly love you the way women love. And that's why we keep getting hurt over and over again. Women are not supposed to love because we get weak. We put ourselves second.
Women are not supposed to love.
What I mean, the kind of love that we extend to our husbands is too much. I'm sorry.
So we should reduce it.
That's why men take us for granted. It's a bitter truth.
Hmm.
You're supposed to respect him, honor him, you know, keep the home in order.
But not love.
You're not supposed to love him and
stupidly.
beg him. Yes, and beg him for his time and his attention. You're not supposed to do that. Because when you do that, you lose yourself and you become less attractive.
But that's not what being
You're not supposed to
submissive
do
is.
it. No, submissiveness is more about respect, making sure that what he wants, you know, is available. You're taking
Aligning.
orders from him. You're aligning with his prospects.
So women should not love.
projection.
So what you're saying is women should not love their husbands. They should just be submissive to their husbands.
Thank you. Now, when you say love, yeah, let's be careful with the word, because we are loving beings naturally. We love, you know, we share love to our, you know. But what I mean is, you know, that love, that's, what's that love? The crazy in love. Butterflies in my tummy. No, don't do that.
So it's the guy that should have butterflies in his tummy.
Yes, and you see, it will become a better marriage, a loving marriage. You'll be shocked how the marriage will turn out to be. Not like many that we see today.
But do men? So they said, women, be submissive to your husbands,
Yeah,
and men, love your wives.
Yeah.
But you just also said that men do not love.
that's the thing. Naturally, their character, who they are on the surface, yeah, they are logical beings. They are not ruled by emotions. They don't act or move or, you know, respond with emotions. Very hard. Mostly logical. That does not mean that they don't have a feminine side. That doesn't mean we are all masculine and feminine, depending on which, you know, comes out, which one is more out there on the surface, you know. They can still tap into that emotional, you know, wherever it is, their feminine nature, and express love. But men
they
hardly
don't.
go in there. Yes, they don't.
Okay, so why do they now expect women to go into where they have the submissiveness?
Because it's a part of us.
No, submissiveness is not a part of us. Loving is part of us.
Yes, but you see, the thing about women is
Because
when we
that's why
love,
a lot of women
we
find it
submit.
hard. A lot of so the problem is they say women are not submissive.
Now, let's look at it. I don't know the way you're looking at submissiveness now. When we
I mean,
love,
it's not me
we even
now.
lose ourselves.
No, see,
so what
it
is
is-
submissiveness
so you don't get
now?
what, you don't get what
Okay,
I'm saying. You see,
okay.
from what you have explained, there's a difference between love and submission. Submissiveness, sorry. Now, women are meant to be submissive to
Yes.
their husband, not love, from your explanation.
Yes.
Good. And
I
men
think that can we define this some
exactly. So that's why exactly, because submissiveness and love, from what you have explained, they are two completely different things.
Of course.
Now, women are not meant to love.
You're not supposed to.
You're not
in that
supposed to
manner.
love. Men should love, right?
Yes.
Now, women have refused to be submissive. Men have refused to love. Do you understand?
Yeah, and
because
that's-
that's what the problem is.
Yes, that's what the problem is.
Because they say my husband doesn't love me. The husband says you are not submissive.
Yes, it's always the
So
same
that means they are
complaint.
not doing what they are supposed to do.
Because they're taking,
But rather, the women are now loving,
yes, taking each
which
other's
they are not
role.
supposed to do. The women
Yes.
are now loving their husband. You're not supposed to love your husband. You're supposed to be submissive to your husband.
Yes.
So what are the men doing? At least the women are loving. The men have refused to be submissive, to love, sorry.
Yeah.
So what are they submissive as well? So the men are not doing
The
anything.
men
They're
are
just being
literally
logical.
just riding on their ego. most men are riding on their ego, and sometimes society allows that. You know, these people were not questioned. You know, they were not punished. They were not. You know,
But is it just in this part of the world or is it everywhere?
it's everywhere, but to some degree. And that's why you see that in foreign countries, they put in a lot of laws, rules, regulations to protect the women because they know that the men have gone off. Like, if they don't, okay, why was there a need for there to be laws that protect the women? Why? Because they knew that what the men were doing or what they are doing at some point, it will become disastrous. And there won't even be anything called the family unit anymore. To protect the family unit, they had to bring in things like prenup, they had to bring things like divorce settlements, they had to bring things like, you know, child, blah, 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 because they knew how, they were seeing how the men were behaving.
Shente, do you agree?
So I think that we need to come to Jess' class and bring pen and paper as she
Okay.
teaches us these things, right? There are a lot of things that she said. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Although I couldn't hear her at the last part, right? But I think there's a lot of things that she said that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So that means you think that women who are meant to be submissive are loving their husbands instead of being submissive.
Now, is what I was trying to say, like when we say submissive, because I think that submission is also a part of love. It's something that is because if I love you, right, me submitting to you is that I also want to hear you out. I also want to be able to align with whatever your goals is or whatever, you know, goals that we have in this marriage, right? Is that I have my own goal, you have your own goal, but as the leader of the house, I want to trust that you would handle both our goals together because of we are going somewhere. So I think that submission is also a part of love. But I want to understand what is submission in this context, right? In Jesse's context or in your context, because from where I stand, I think that submission is also a part of love.
I agree.
It is.
Yes.
And now what I understand by this is that these are two people with two different expectations, with two different ideology, with two different goals coming together, but for the sake of the home. And for the sake that this man is the head of the home, this is one of the reasons why they said women submit to your husband. So what I feel that he was trying to say is that you have to understand that you have to trust this man to be able to handle this, or when he's even handling this, he's also going to put you or he's also going to be looking out for your own best interest. You have to trust that he's going to carry it in that way. That is what I believe that submission in this area is talking about. Is that if this person is saying I want this, if this other person is saying I want this, there's not going to, like, there will always be fight, there will always be quarrel. So one person has to, in a way, trust the other person to be able to make decisions and handle it in love, knowing that both of you are in this together, and he's also going to consider your feelings, your goals, every single thing as he makes the decision. That is what I believe that submission is talking about in that context. I mean, I can be wrong, but I'm just saying, like, when I read deep into it, is that is what submission may be talking about. Is that both of you cannot. Do you understand? Like, if both of you come out to say, I want to do this, I want to do this, there might be clashes one way or the other. So, because of it's a family and there must, in a way, be a head, one person may have to, like, make decisions or do some certain things, and the other person in a way has to be able to trust this person to do that, like has to be able to put, okay, I'm putting my finances or my career or a lot of things in your hand, that you'll be able to make the best decision concerning this
Yeah.
because of you love me. That
Yeah.
is what I feel
Okay,
like this
so
is.
And if I may add,
submissive. Okay.
if I may add, I think that's what the problem is with the marriages of today. That trust he just spoke about, you know, because
True.
yes, because I don't trust you enough to make the best judgment for
Then I
you.
cannot submit
That's
to
why I'm
you
not submitting to
exactly.
you. And that's
Because
why you
I
see that
feel
men
like
are
if I
saying,
give you this thing, you are going to cause issues because I don't trust
and not
you.
even that, I cannot
Exactly.
just do as you want me to do, and I know that I cannot trust you with my life. I know what you're doing, you know.
Okay, so I would not agree to that. You know why I say that? When people
Okay.
get married, for the first few years, do you understand? They're submissive. They're trying to impress their husbands. the women, even in relationships. Do you understand? For every relationship, you find out that the woman, at that initial point, the man is loving the wife, giving you attention, doing several things. Do you understand? And you're equally respecting the man.
You know what? The man has taken his role. Yeah, he's loving you.
My point. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But then, down the line, you find out that something happens. Something would always
The
happen.
man stops loving you.
The man, for some reason, the man stops to love you. And then for some reason, you stop trusting the man. That's what happens. Do you understand? Because submission is a partnership. So the ideal definition of submission is walk alongside with your husband. If your husband is doing or trying to do something wrong, submission is not agreeing with him.
Yes.
That's not what submission is. Submission is telling him what your opinion is with love. That's what submission is. Having a conversation. So if you do that and the man now insists that, oh, I have to do what I want to do, then you stop trusting